welcome to episode 17 of Bandwagon. I'm your host, Eric Nelson. I want to thank Tika Felice for making the trip up from Kansas City for our last episode. I really enjoyed our interview, and I hope you guys did too. And if you haven't checked out Tika's music yet, I suggest you go do it because it's really good. Also, I need to thank Owen Justice for making everything look and sound so good, and also Skinny Webb, our executive producer and musician extraordinaire, for some of the finishing touches that he does on it. And other than that, I really don't have much to say other than I kind of feel rusty and out of practice. It's been a while since we filmed an episode of Bandwagon, but it feels like months, but it really hasn't been that long. But when summer's ramping up and start playing more shows and all the summer festivities begin, I mean, before you know it, the summer's here and gone. But other than that, not a whole lot new other than we got a new puppy. I got to talk about this guy. He's so cool. He's a not a labradoodle, a golden doodle. He's a chocolate golden doodle. His name is Dude. He's really, really cool, really smart. But what I like most about him is that he's the most chill puppy I've ever been around. My wife got him, and 3 days later she took him on an overnight float trip and camped, and he slept in the kayak while they floated. And he's just really cool with everybody. He doesn't get into stuff, tear nothing up. She brought him to a show that Dan and Sullivan and I did the other night at the depot. There were a lot of people there and other dogs, and he was chill at that too. So really cool. We got really lucky with him. And I want to say thank you to everybody who reached out when our dog Bruce passed away, our pit bull. It's always shitty when that happens, and it's sad. It was sudden, so we weren't ready to brace ourselves for the impact, but thank you again for everybody who reached out. And I'm done talking about dogs, I promise. I didn't come here for that. This is not an episode of the Dog Whisperer, it's Bandwagon. But I do want to talk to Owen Justice about his new release. It's going to be coming out on July 21st. Tonight. I almost said tonight I'll be staying here with you, which is a Bob Dylan song. It's Tonight I Feel Fine. And I'm really excited for it, Owen, and I know you are too, and I know everybody else is as well. Mm-hmm. And I know you got some upcoming shows here in August in Okoboji, and you got a big one August 13th coming up at the Iowa State Fair. That's very cool. Man, that's a good one. That's a great place to go and expose.
I'll add also on July 28th at the Twisted Tail in BB-Town.
July 28th at the Twisted Tail in BB-Town, in case you didn't hear. Owen is like the Wizard of Oz back here. We kind of switched things up, so it's kind of weird with him not sitting there. But 28th Twisted Tail, some shows in Okoboji in early August, and then you got the State Fair coming up. So with that being said, do you have anything else, Owen, that you want to talk to? We haven't hung out in a while. Anything new, music related, not music related?
Just the singles and the album coming out here. So the first single's on July 21st.
Yep.
Tonight I Feel Fine.
Right on. You heard it directly from the horse's mouth there. And while we're talking about Owen's music, I need to introduce this young lady here to my left who's a big part of Owen's music. She does vocals with him, and I've gotten to know her a little bit over the past year, and I'm really excited that you guys are going to get to know her a little bit better as well. So with no further ado, I introduce Maggie Valsakis.
Valsakis.
But I'm sorry.
Don't worry.
I never heard it out loud.
It's Maggie McMullen now.
Maggie McMullen.
I got married. Yeah.
Oh yeah, gosh. God, I just blew our intro. I'm so sorry.
That's very new information. It's
sorry,
new.
Grant. I flip-flopped it. Okay.
That's okay.
My research team's fired. Owen, write that down. Research team. Okay.
Seriously.
But no, and the first, and of course, our connection is obviously through Owen and Grant, your husband.
Yes.
And I was thinking about this though while I was kind of putting some things together. And I was like, well, really, there's a good chance that none of us would have really met if it wasn't for the bassist, George Cooper.
That's right.
I know George and Owen are real good friends, and George and my son, Gabe, have been really good friends for a lot of years. I know Gabe's been playing some guitar with you guys.
Yeah, he's sounding good.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. And it makes me a proud papa. And But no, it's so cool to sit down when you connect the dots and, and you see how the relationships unfold in music.
Yeah.
And that's what's exciting about it. And that's why I'm doing Bandwagon. So welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yep.
Yes.
And the first time I saw you was Play with Owen was, I guess it would have been at the 518. And I think that was this past fall.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, you've got a great voice. I mean, you
Thank
really
you.
do, sincerely.
Thank you.
And it's very distinct, and especially for this area. In my opinion, it kind of reminds me of a little Amy Winehouse flavor.
Okay, yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, a little kind of a jazzy twang to it. When I say
Yeah.
that, I mean like your voice is simmering and it's got those like clear undertones, but you throw a little splash of some twang, a little grit in there.
Yeah.
And you get a really tasty sauce,
thank you.
like Mom used to make, right?
Yeah.
So no, hats off to you with that. And I think that's why I really like listening to you and Owen together, is because of you bring that sizzle to Owen's. He has like a really nice, clean, silky
Smooth,
voice.
yeah.
And so those two elements make really a sonically interesting sound.
Yeah, yeah.
So what are some of the influences that help you find your sound?
Oh man, I don't even know where to start there. I'm like a genre hopper.
Yeah,
That's what I would call it. So I listen to like so many different genres, so many different artists, and I always have. But I've always been singing since I was young, and I grew up in our household. We listened to a lot of like musical theater.
Yeah, oh, that's cool.
And we also listened to a lot of like Styx. My dad.
Oh yeah, right on.
My dad has been in like a Styx cover band and different bands
Oh,
in
very
his life.
cool.
He's a drummer
Nice.
as well and singer. So yeah, we just grew up in a very musical household. And so I've always liked like theater and all the different dynamics that are in
cool.
those types of vocals. But then like rock music too is probably where I first like was like, oh, I love this.
Catch
But
your
then I remember, no hate to my brothers, but I would be singing when I was like in high school or something, and it'd be like a rock song that they all like, and they'd be like, why are you singing it girly? It's like, oh, what do you mean? I'm just singing it. So I feel like I kind of started to realize like I loved rock music, but it wasn't like where my talents, like my voice didn't totally align with like that sound. So I just started like kind of dipping my toes in different things, and I did show choir.
I did that too.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, show choir was frustrating for me because I would get really good feedback about my vocals, but I'm not like the most theatrical person. So
Oh, I wasn't either.
all the like
Yeah,
moves
jazz
and the
hands up.
faces I really struggled with.
Yeah.
So I only did that for a year. And then I really didn't start to find my own sound and like making music for myself until I was probably 24.
Okay.
And that was through going to open mic nights at the
Right.
Down Under
Nice.
that Allie Peeler ran.
Yeah.
And she like immediately the first time I sang, like I hadn't ever talked to her really before, but came up to me and was like, where have you been? Like, you need to be doing this. And like she really, really helped me find some confidence in that.
Awesome.
So.
Yeah, and she's got a really nice stage presence as well. So.
Absolutely. She sang at my wedding, Grandma's wedding. Yes.
Wow, that is very, very cool.
Yeah, so it was cool.
So, did you start writing songs at 24? Do you write them younger than that, or?
I tried to write like my feelings and like poetry when I was younger, but I didn't start trying to put like a melody to them until I was about 24. With people in my life that played instruments, because I had never learned an instrument, so I just didn't have like a vessel to like build my own music off of. And so it kind of started there, and then through like Allie and my friend Valerie with their ukuleles, I was like, I think I could pick that up and try, that could be my vessel to get these words out and these melodies, because I hear a lot of melodies. I feel like that comes somewhat naturally to me, but then pairing it to the instrument was something I hadn't done before. So
very cool.
Yeah.
And you said, I know that you brought the ukulele, but you said that you've been working on guitar as well. So.
I have. I just picked it up a couple weeks ago and have been working at that, just an acoustic guitar that I had for years and never really like picked up. It was at my mom's house. She was like, yeah, I have this guitar here. And I was like, oh yeah, I should.
Right on.
It's about time.
Yeah,
I should
yeah.
pick that thing up. So, yeah, just having a good time getting to learn this new instrument and
The exploration begins.
yeah, exactly. I'm excited to see where I can take my sound with it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's what's so nice. I mean, when I was starting out, you know, I was rewinding the cassettes and re-listening to it, you know, and then a lot of guys, the vinyl's dropping the needle on the record, you know, going back to learn stuff. And at least now on YouTube, gosh, you can just find whatever you want. They're such a help.
It is a really helpful tool. My little brother also plays guitar, so when I'm trying to like figure something out, I'll like FaceTime him and he'll be like, try this, move your finger here, and stuff like that. So that's been really
well, that's
cool.
cool. So you got somebody to help you out.
Yeah,
and guide you along.
I'm so blessed with like the people in my life that support me through this, and I always have friends I can call on to be like, help me with this song I'm working on or help me with this instrument. So I feel very blessed in that respect.
Well, everyone's, I mean, anybody who is seriously into it, I think, or really truly enjoys it, they're doing it for the joy of it.
Right.
And they want to see other people experience that same joy. And,
Exactly.
you know, and especially when you can get together on stage and all feel the joy together, that's where the magic is. So.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So yeah, for sure. So are you from the Omaha area originally?
I am born and raised.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Did you, have you played with any other artists or acts or anybody?
Of course, I played with Owen.
Owen,
We just filmed those videos.
Yes, that was a good time.
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah. I was gonna get to that, but yeah, no, that was great. That was a lot of fun. That's the first time I worked with you, and of course the whole band. I mean, I'd done some work with Owen on stage and stuff before, and a little bit in the studio, but all of us to be there recording, that was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was so cool. Outside of like singing with my girlfriends, like I've never really sang with someone that I can like harmonize with, where it really like mixes and meshes really well. So that was really fun to be doing that with. And the songs were challenging, especially the Birmingham one we did. So
that really
fun.
was. That was very challenging because it's not your run of the mill timing or it's just, I don't know, it's just totally different.
Yeah, exactly. Totally different than anything I'd done. So
you can't anticipate, like, until you listen to it over and over. It's hard to anticipate where it's going.
Right.
So
absolutely.
But no, that turned out great. And Simon Clark, he did a fantastic job with that.
Good.
So
yeah. So outside of like singing with Owen, I sang with a group called Midwest Coast for about a year. They were did contemporary jazz type covers, I would say. And that was really fun, and that was really challenging to me as well, because I hadn't really been in the jazz world before. So there's a lot of, I mean, it's pretty technical. So
very technical.
I had to really study these songs and work my muscles to learn how to honestly sing some of those. So that was really fun and challenging, and I learned a lot from that experience. Outside of that, I mean, I have my own group called TerraGram.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we were really active for the first year we were in it, and then Grant and I kind of started working on a different sound with production software as well. So we were in this transition phase right now. But we still want to get our original stuff we had started with the whole band out there, and so that's something we're
So what's the
working
transition like? We went from what to what, kind of? What genre would you say, or is it?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing. Sounds interesting then.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. I'm not sure how to fully describe it. It's somewhat alternative, but I wouldn't say it's really heavy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I said, I have so many different influences, so it's hard to pinpoint into a specific sound. So I think I get a bit of a range in there. There's one that even has almost a reggae rock feel to it, which is fun and different. But then the song that Grant and I do have out there with TerraGram, that wasn't just Grant and I. We also have Gunner, Huff on there, and then we have oh man, Ben Baker on the bass on there. So
Cool.
we put out a song called Follow the Moonlight under TerraGram. That's just on like Spotify and iTunes and YouTube.
Very cool. Cool.
And that was a song that was more production heavy than like fully live instrumental. But Gunnar put his guitar pieces in there and Ben put some bass in there.
Sweet.
And it's really interesting. I'm not
So
sure.
do you guys play out live, or is it mostly like studio stuff you guys all do together?
We did, but we started incorporating like a backing track where Grant has his laptop there and his headphones on, so he's keeping time with the track, and then we're all just with each other in the live experience. So
very cool.
it's a process to kind of fine tune that. So we're working through it.
That would terrify me if I knew I had to worry about technology while I was playing, doing any kind of instrument or playing. Oh,
Yeah.
what could go wrong but everything?
Right. Grant has a full plate there with the drums and with that. So I always get amazed even watching like guitar players who, you know, like Owen even singing and playing guitar, and then also monitoring and managing his pedals and stuff. I'm always like, oh, that's so much to
Process,
think about. Yeah.
Especially live in the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, the more you do it, obviously, it gets to be more second nature, but still,
Right.
there's so many
There's a lot
things that
going
can
on.
be distracting.
Yeah.
You know, you never anticipate what might distract you out in the crowd
Exactly.
or on the stage or...
Right. I told you I get distracted by my hair and
Yeah.
shoes while I sing, so I couldn't imagine trying to do all that too. So.
Well, I'm
very
sure
cool.
whatever genre you're doing, you'll do a fantastic job at, because
Thank you.
you have an amazing voice, you know, and right now working with Owen, I know you're in an amazing band, and we're going to do an amazing original song of yours.
That's right.
And what is the name of that song?
It is called Weep for the Willows. It's one of the first ones I wrote on the ukulele, and I was really excited about it because I was like, oh, I put these feelings and these thoughts to the song and the instrument. Like, it was one of the first times I did that.
Well,
so.
it's a wonderful song, and I really enjoyed putting some guitar parts to it, so
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoy it.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks
Appreciate
for
it.
having me.
Yep, of course.
It's been fun.
Deep breath with smoke-filled lungs. The alarm's been ringing for so long. Can't you hear it? Ooh, maybe you fear it. Look at the smog in the sky today. Results of issues yesterday. Don't you know it? You've been ignoring. I weep for the willows burning down. I weep for the willows as they hit the ground. Where are your tears buried in your fears? I weep for the willows burning down. I weep for the willows as they hit the ground. Where are your tears buried in your fears? Whoa, whoa, whoa. The ground we walk on is heating up. Distracted people don't give a fuck. Open your eyes to all the lies. Our greed has got us to this place. The rich will try and leave for space. You gotta take them down, turn things upside down. I weep for the willows burning down. I weep for the willows as they hit the ground. Where are your tears your fears.